Hi guys, Dr. Millie here. How are you? Welcome to another energy forecast reading where I channel the cards and bring you the energy forecast for the upcoming weekend especially. This is definitely a time to raise our vibration. So in order to raise your vibration, you can do something really fun, engage in something that's very positive for yourself. That's meditation, listening to music, doing yoga, going for a run, anything that gets you that natural high. However, the energies are so intense right now that you might feel like sleeping or avoiding, or you might be in more pain than normal. And so because of that, you might have the tendency to, get high in another way, or to kind of get distracted, or numb the pain somehow. And it's really best if you can not do that, if you can seek higher vibes somewhere else. This morning I went to a 6 a.m. yoga class at this church near NYU here in New York City, and then a 7 a.m. dance party called Daybreaker. I've been to another morning party a few years ago, but this was really quite something. Now they're an international event. They hold it all over the world, definitely all over the United States. I think they said they're in 25 different cities. And the core team kind of travels around, even though the core couple just had a baby 6 days ago. So it was super positive. The baby was not there, but there was another baby there who was under a year old for sure. And there was chanting and poetry slams all about love and leading with your heart and getting to know yourself and embracing the spirit of really who you are. And dance resolution was the theme, and they were encouraging us all to be ourselves. And look, the card that we got for the chakra for the week, we can't get away from these spiritual cards these past few weeks because there's so much intense energy going on with ascension and who, rising up to who we're being called to be and making a choice to embrace ourselves and embrace our future. If you don't want to, that's fine. Then you stay the same and you stay, where you've been maybe for the past 8 years. But the request really here from the guides or from God is to create your life. So this is about your aura. This is about your connection with Source. This is about your connection to the universe, and that you have the ability to create that. And that's why it's so important to raise your vibrations this week. Now there was another card that came under the deck, which is soulmate. And so this is the kind of the top card. And this deck, it's gray, it's not purple or violet, but it does represent the 7th chakra, as well as I like to think of it as like our aura. And this soulmate card is the root card. So you notice I'm wearing red. I've been wearing red a lot. And that's to ground our energy. Because there's so much spiritual stuff going on, we also really want to ground it. But this is a soulmate card. So this to me really says that, it's by discovering our true selves, by creating the life that we really want. That's how we either find the soulmate, which is within ourselves, like we complete our other half, masculine, feminine, yin, yang, do, or you will, actually meet and get to know and recognize who your soulmate actually is. And so that's how to pay attention to the energies, or maybe bond with your soulmate. Or, soulmate can be anybody. It doesn't have to be a love interest either. It can be finding your perfect work partner, business partner, or it can be getting a best friend, or it can just be feeling very connected, or, getting with your the best animals to be surrounded with, or, meeting your dog or something like that. Whoops, I got too many cards. But we did get one for how to be healthy in the mind this week, here and now. Okay, so again, don't distract yourself. Really pay attention. I'm trying to get rid of the glare. Really pay attention to what's going on right now. And that doesn't mean that you have to be, well, it does mean you have to be engaging in mindfulness. It doesn't mean that you have to be meditating for 24 hours a day or anything like that, but you do want to notice what's going on in your life right now that's relevant. Because oftentimes we get so caught up in our goals, or what we're, we get so focused on what's not working that we don't appreciate what's actually being put into our lives right now. So, if you haven't thought about it recently, any people that you've met recently, opportunities that you may have had, even blessings in disguise, even people falling out of your life, even not getting jobs. You know, I personally, I've applied for a couple of pitches for research and for so I've got to support this health club. And, you know, this is something that's really important to me. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to support this health club. And I'm just doing less practice work, even though I love doing practice work and I always want to, but health club takes a lot of my time right now. And so, you know, I'm looking for a few different contracts. And, but, you know, I didn't get this regulation contract that I applied for. So that's fine. You know, many of you know that part of my background is in supplements. And so, you know, I can think with my head as to what I want to do, and I can make the motions to put it into place. But if it doesn't happen, then I also have to accept that that's not the right for me right now, and I know that something will be right for me. And so whatever this is in your own life, whatever this pertains to in your own life, is having mindfulness and not always looking on the situation as bad, but looking on the situation that it's right for you and that something better is going to come your way. And have gratitude in those moments for everything that you're going through, because you're learning a big lesson and it's slowing you down and it's calling upon you to appreciate things as they are, not necessarily how they will be in the future, but of course it's all for our future selves, but we have to also appreciate our current self in order to really get where we're going in our life. So however this speaks to you, this is really important this week, to be healthy in the mind. You want to be in the here and now. So that's to be in the present. That's to be in the present moment. That's to be seeking satisfaction from what is here in front of you and not always looking for something more. Especially in New York City, I think we tend to get very either anxious or extremely driven, to say the least. You know, all of us are operating out of our masculine, our wheeling and dealing, and I don't mean masculine to be in a bad way, but we also need to balance that out with the feminine, okay? And so how to be healthy in the body this week, you know, it really goes with being in the here and now in the mind, is solitude in the body, okay? So we've had some really intense energies. We had volcano a couple of weeks ago, and last week, I forget what the card was exactly, but we had to piece it all together. And now we really need to take stock. We really need to appreciate. We need to gather our own energy. So as I mentioned, if that's yoga for you, if that's listening to music, if that's going for a walk, if that's appreciating nature, if that's hanging with your best friend. I mean, this is a solitude card, but the other thing about solitude is that we can't actually be an island. We are not alone. We are always connected. And so whether that's gathering a new community and not necessarily just continuing to hang with the people that you've been hanging with because they continue to call you. If you need to put up some boundaries, if you need to say no to some people, if you need to let go of some things, then you might need some solitude this weekend in order to realize what you need to do, and so that you can appreciate fully what's here for you and how you're being called and what choices that you really want to make, you know? So if my life is like your life, and I do tend to think the energies run together, although it depends, you know, on what action we've taken and to what our personal astrology chart is or whatever, energies seem to carry over from one person to one person. So there has been, this past week especially has been very busy, you know, a lot of people hustling for January, a lot of people wanting to begin the new year on a good foot, a lot of people looking to make connections, looking to have contracts, looking to sign deals, looking to find out what's next. You know, maybe they're planned out for 6 months, but they want to get the next 6 months planned, or maybe you're planning for these 6 months. And so now it looks like we've gotten this card a couple of times. This again is the opportunity to forgive, and I'm pretty sure that we got it, if not last week, the week before. So the opportunity to forgive, I'm just going to read it. This situation brings you the opportunity to heal, grow, and release negative patterns. Hold the intention of seeing the other person's inner divine light and goodness. We will help you release unforgiving thoughts, feelings, and energy, and lift you to a higher place of peace and compassion. And so sometimes, guys, if we're the ones that are being cut out of other people's lives, or if we're the ones that are feeling left behind, or if we're the ones who, you know, didn't get the contract or wasn't asked out by the person, or didn't get the opportunity to go on that trip or to participate in something, then we also have to let go of that. We have to forgive that. We have to come together with ourselves, because ourselves is the most important thing. You have to fill your own cup before you can fill the cup of others. And this all relates. I hope you can see the connection between what's going on this week and really feel these energies. You know, it's like we have to create the life that we want before we can find the soulmate, whether that soulmate is within ourselves or whether if it's, you know, the idea of somebody coming into our life that we think that it's going to fulfill us, but actually it's just going to, you know, it's like the sprinkles on top, right? It's somebody who's going to help us, yes, and that we can help, yes. But first and foremost, we need to create the life that we want. And so how to be healthy in the mind this week is the here and now. Here I am in my egg floating away, being present. There's doors open. Maybe I'm not looking. Maybe I'm breaking through the egg. Maybe I'm floating in space. I'm just taking advantage of the journey, of the trip. It's not about the destination. It's about the here and now. And I have to be, you know, by myself in my body in order to, I have to be independent. I have to stop being the codependent, stop hanging out with people or going to that job. I'm not telling you to quit your job, but you know, if your job is very unfulfilling, then now is the time. And so yes, there's risk, always risk, but you can be independent. You can be standing on your own. You do have the abilities to be yourself, to be your true self, to create what you wish. And I hope that this message is very loud and clear. And if there is still grudges that you're holding on to, or if you're not understanding why something is not the way that you want it to be, or something is not the way you envisioned it to be, you have to let that go, because you cannot bring that into ascension with you. You cannot bring this into this new world that we're creating with higher vibes, guys, way, way, way higher vibes. You know, if the planet is the war of good and evil, the evil has been winning for so long, guys, and that's not going to happen. The good, the loving people, the spiritual people, the people who are seeking connection, and okay, the spiritual community has a lot of problems too, and that's fine. And first and foremost, most of us are traumatized victims and have been living with that, but then we also have to see the power as to why that makes us the healers that we are. We are here to heal the planet, but first we have to heal ourselves. So I hope that you accept this message as a gift from me, with love, with well-being, with blessings. And you know, I'm right here with you guys, learning and continuing in this life that we all share on this beautiful planet Earth. So, and you know, in the atmosphere, floating around like the egg of here and now, even though we are also probably simultaneously living on other timelines and maybe even in other universes. Let's just go there with our minds, guys, okay? I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know your thoughts on this segment. I love offering it, but you know, I do want to make sure that people are enjoying it, and talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.